Hello everybody, my name is Kenneth and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm a little bit late on this. I missed Hyunjin's birthday. Happy birthday, Hyunjin. But I really wanted to check out his SKZ-RECORDs. So we have Long For You as well as Hey You today. Before we get into this, obviously we're going to start with Long For You. But I wanted to really talk about the credits really quick for this particular song. So this was written by Hyunjin and it was composed by Hyunjin and a person called Joha. But interestingly, and interesting is the fact that this was arranged by Joha. And I'm bringing this up because obviously in the past, when we've had SKZ-RECORDs or anything Stray Kids related, where Stray Kids have been kind of the main leaders or the main parts or main artists of a song, we usually have Pangchan as a producer. And so it's interesting, just before we even get into the song, that he is not listed in the credits. The reason I think it's interesting is because it's going to be very new and a new experience for me and for you guys to see the different flavors of production we get within this song. I'm just going to check really quick of the Hey You credits. Indeed, the Hey You credits, Hangchan is not listed there either. So these songs are going to be potentially familiar in that we have Hyunjin writing. So lyrically, they probably will deal with things that we're used to with Hyunjin. But production-wise, we're gonna probably be dealing with maybe different textures, different rhythms, different motifs that we're used to, or that we've become used to, because Pangchan is not on these credits. So before we get into this, I just want to give you pause warning. I will be pausing, going back to talk about things, just because I don't want to miss anything. But if you're okay with that, without any further ado, let's get into Hyunjin's Long For You and Hey You. Okay, so this is Hyunjin's Long For You. Already we have, just from the artwork, not even getting into the song, we have this character that I'm assuming Hyunjin has painted. And they are kind of holding themselves. So we've already got that kind of aspect of longingness and loneliness, longing and loneliness. But here around the kind of the aura of the person, there's like a separate aura, almost suggesting like the person hugging them is gone, as though that they're not actually hugging themselves, but they're remembering being held and being hugged. Now, I did hear, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Also, you guys couldn't see what I just was talking about. I apologize. I got so into that. So this is the aura that I was talking about here. You've also got this kind of blood red aura down here and down here, suggesting like loss and things like that. But I was going to say really quickly that I'd heard that one of these songs that we're going to react to today was inspired by a film called Closer or something. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't seen the film, so I don't know what the film's about. But I had heard that somewhere because I think Hans' record was also written after he'd seen this film. I'm not sure. Again, please correct me in the comments if I am wrong, if I'm way off the mark. But that's just something that I've heard. Um, sorry, I'm really waffling. Let's get into this song. Okay, this sounds very Hyunjin. Also, I love the tape effect, old kind of TV effect on the visuals. This feels very Hyunjin with the whistling. And yeah, even the texture of the piano, it feels very different from what we're used to, production-wise. Ooh. That breathy vocal. Oh. Interesting, the transition as well of the photo. Yet the piano texture is really intriguing here because you can clearly hear that it was originally something played with keys, but there's almost this kind of effect to it. Whoops, this kind of effect to it where I don't know. It feels very dry, even though it's not a dry sounding instrument. In music production, you have dry sounds, which are kind of the sounds as they are, versus what they call wet sounds, which is a sound after the fact. So it sounds very dry in terms of its kind of simplistic and simplicity in the texture, but then it doesn't feel like it sounds like what it would have sounded like originally. It's almost like a toy piano as well. It allows a lot of space. Interesting. So the characters in this story, they have done things together, and they've made a legacy of their love. And he talks about here how that kind of metaphor of it, you know, it growing into into a white flower. Now, if the context is that in the film, if this is the song that was written with the film in that film in mind, the Closer film, maybe they did plant a flower. But I feel like in this song, the flower is a metaphor, because obviously when you move on from a relationship and you start a new one, or you start looking around, there's that trope, that experience of giving flowers to people. And here it's like that metaphor is like, this is everything that we built in our relationship, and I'm not in a place where I can take that and give it to someone else. So it's almost like saying, like, you know, I haven't moved on, I'm not ready to move on. And again, it's that kind of ritual. That's the word I was thinking of again, when a new romance kind of starts. You know, you might give someone flowers as a token of love, appreciation. And it's that thing of, I'm not ready yet to open myself up to someone else. You know, that white flower might have bloomed, but I have not. And so I'm not ready to open up and move on to someone else, and to be with someone else, which is absolutely okay. But there's that kind of idea that there is lots to share with someone else. Also, I just want to say, sorry, the hangul looks handwritten, and so I wonder if this is actually Hyunjin's writing, Hyunjin's writing, or if someone else did it, because it looks very handwritten, just in some of the characters. So yeah. Again, the music, from a music perspective, this is a very short song. You know, we're over halfway through it. If you think of audio as being a space, and you've got different layers that fill up that space, just like this painting, you've got one or two different kind of focal points. You know, you could say that the part, this, you know, this part of the art with the figure is Hyunjin's vocals, and then you've got this aura around him, which is, you could say, is the instrumentation behind him. But then you've got all this extra space around, and that space also exists within the song. If you listen, You've got obviously the natural reverberation of the instrument, but there's no drums, there's no other instrumentations. It's very laid back and very bare bones, and it really almost takes you into this picture here and almost into the space, and you feel it's like one of those chambers. I can't remember what the word is, but those chambers that are soundproof and that you know that they say apparently like you can only last an hour before you need to leave because the kind of soundlessness makes you feel uncomfortable. And there's that, and he's talking about in the lyrics here about the flower, because he's not used it, because he's not given it to someone else, it's begun to wither. Obviously plants and have that kind of um, shelf life almost. Shelf life feels wrong to say about a plant, but it has a certain amount of time that it will bloom, and before it kind of starts to wither. And it's almost that idea that he's missed this opportunity to give, again, they give this metaphorical flower to someone else. But it's that idea that he doesn't want to take that opportunity because he is longing for this person. Ooh. Oh, this is beautiful. Now I'm going back to, hang on, no, I'm going back because this riff. The way that as well, obviously again, we've got this bare bones instrumental, but when he does the it all fades and it's all the focus is on that riff. This is a very well produced song. I don't know who Joha is, but I am really intrigued on their production style because it's very different from what I've heard. And I think it works really well with Hyunjin. And again, just listen to like there's a kind of chord in the background, but it's intentionally mixed down so that all the focus is on that. Oh, it's really. Oh, it's so pretty. And again, the way that Hyunjin performs and enunciates and delivers this line, it's giving that kind of breathy vocal. It's almost like that idea that he's in a space by himself. Again, I'm saying him. If this was written from that film, the character is in space, where he's reaching out, he's begging for this person to come back. But the softness of the vocal is that idea of almost like it wouldn't matter if he was like screaming it, shouting it, saying it at a normal volume, or whispering, because by the time that sound leaves his voice and leaves his body, and because of what is the kind of space that he's in and the kind of headspace, not just the physical space, but the headspace he's in, by the time it leaves his body, it just turns into, like nothing. So it wouldn't matter if he would shout it or if he would scream it, really loud sounds, or whether he would like take a quieter approach like he does, because it's that idea of by the time, if it even reached this person that it's about, it would already be a whisper. But it's that kind of longing desperation that this character Hyunjin has for this other person, where they're reaching out with everything that they've got, but it doesn't matter because that other person maybe has moved on, maybe to the point that they're in a new relationship, they've planted a new white flower with someone else. Also, I think the importance of the flower being white is obviously to do with things like White Day, maybe, because obviously in Korea you have Valentine's Day and you have White Day, and so I think maybe it's maybe something to do with that as well. I'm gonna go back though, sorry. His higher register is so nice. Oh. Oh my god, this song just took it entirely different. I thought we were closer to the end. No, I have to talk about that. So here, actually everything now fades out. And then we get this beautiful strings. Oh, this is... And we have these harmonies. And we have all of this space now filled out. And it's like he's taken this empty space that he's been in. And again, I'm saying he, the character has been in. And filled it on almost all this instrumentation that's just been added, the strings, the guitar. And the guitar is kind of... It's not what I expected from a song like this. But it fits really well, but it feels like that kind of nostalgic guitar that wouldn't be out of place in a cinematic soundtrack. But you've got these elements coming together now, you know, after that bit of silence, where where Hyunjin's voice is just by itself, and you've got these elements now coming in, and it's almost like hope. There's this hope that maybe all of this time by himself in this space has now given him a hope to get back to this person that the song's about. But it's really beautiful. Really nice guitar. There's also an interesting panning. So you've got the guitar on the right. And you've kind of got a guitar, like the same guitar sound on the left, but it's like it's slightly less, and it's playing like a maybe simplified chord progression of the riff on the right. And the piano here sounds even more like a piano, whereas obviously before we've had this textured key instrument or synth instrument, virtual instrument, whatever. I really like that. But yeah, this entire kind of end of the song, it's almost kind of like letting the song speak for itself. You know, he doesn't have to say like I'm hopeful now or anything like that, but there's that kind of thing of, you know, this last line is about like saying this is my intent, and then the music takes over the message and says to us like I have hope, I have confidence, and I am going to get myself back to you. But wow. Um wow. Yeah, this is what I was talking about in terms of production, because each person who produces songs, in fact, I'm going to come over here. Each person that produces songs does so with their own production flavor. So there might be sample types that they enjoy and, you know, lean into, instrumentation types and instrument types that they really favor over others. And I'm just trying to imagine if Bang-chan had produced this instead of Joha. I think it's Joha, his name. Yeah, Joha. Their name, sorry, I don't actually know. Joha. If Bang-chan had produced this instead, I'm not saying that we wouldn't have got a similar sound, but I think allowing Hyunjin to produce with just Joha in this way really opened Hyunjin up to a different creative pool, with which, you know, a creative palette with which to paint this story and tell this story with. Um, I feel like he did a really good job with this producer, with Joha, um, of telling us the story, and it's really beautiful. And again, something I really like about Hyunjin is, you know, yes, he's a rapper, but his vocals are so amazing. Yes, he's, you know, he's a vocal. People forget, I think, or don't appreciate just how nice his vocals are. And he has a wonderful poetic ability, both in terms of literary and writing, in his songwriting, but also in his art. He's a very artistic individual. Every facet of his being is aesthetic and artistic and beautiful. And it's nice being given a different palette with which to work with, from the production kind of side of things. Um, because it also allows Hyunjin to develop his taste and his kind of writing taste and production taste. Because if you limit yourself to one, albeit very talented producer in Bangchan, you're limiting yourself in the colors and the kind of depths that you can deal with, because each producer is different. And that's why when you look at like the music world, there are so many different producers in the world. You know, if it was a case that one single producer in a generation could produce the whole breadth and width and height of the human experience, we wouldn't have the amazing breadth and width of people that do music producing in this day and age and across history, because it would just have been a case of, you know, you'd have every 40 years or whatever you define a generation, you'd have that one producer, you know, that does it, and then it would almost be like a ceremonial, like I hand it off to the next one, and so on and so forth. But that's not the way we work as human beings. You know, each of us has an experience to bring, and each of us has an inspiration to bring, and it shows in the way that this is produced. Again, even just the way the instrumentation is in this, it's not what I expected. You know, again, you've got it is kind of like it's a soft ballad. It's not a power ballad. It's a soft ballad. Um, and so you'd expect a key instrument like a piano, and there is that in that, you know, in the main bulk of the song. But it's not a piano that sounds, or an instrument that's a key instrument that sounds like a traditional piano, you know, kind of sound. Obviously, later on in the song, you do have that when the strings and the kind of guitar take over, there is that piano there that sounds like a piano. But for most of the song, it is a key instrument. It's something that you're playing with keys. Um, but it's that twist that makes it unique, because I'm not going to say it wouldn't sound as good if it was a piano, but it creates dynamic interest within the song that lends itself to the story and makes you go, ooh, this is interesting. This is holding my attention differently than if it was just a regular piano playing this. But I really, really liked it. Um, I'm still gonna do Hey You in this video, but I didn't expect to have talked as much as I did. So we are going to go over to Hey You. As I previously said at the beginning of the video, this was composed by Hyunjin and Joha, written by Hyunjin and arranged by Joha. So yeah, let's get into Hey You. Again, we've got a beautiful photo of Hyunjin. I'm going to assume it was a self-portrait, because I know he loves to take photos. Again, like I said, he's just bristling with artistic ability. Um, Not jealous at all. No, I'm not. He's amazing. But I wonder if it's going to be related too long for you in any way. And maybe that's why he's kind of in a similar pose as the kind of the drawing, the painting was in Long For You. But yeah, let's get into this. So here we've got that kind of toy piano kind of sound again. It's almost detuned though, rather than it's like, you know, between each note there's like a detune in it, almost like you're playing it on an old vinyl. And even like the visual on the artwork. Oh, there's Japanese subtitles. Is this entirely in English? Oh, this is so cute. Hang on, sorry. Oh, this is cute already. With that chord. Ooh, that arpeggio in the back. Ooh. Can we walk and maybe share lives? The rhythms in this are interesting. Maybe love your eyes. And if you don't know love, I'll make the best of us. And if you know so much, why don't you give me love? Can we love? It's an interesting rhythm. Can we love? Interesting though. It came to me as my own breath. Oh wow. I'll get consent. That idea of something very natural is breathing. You know, obviously we take in air and we breathe out air, and all that other science stuff. But the idea that for Hyunjin, or the character that Hyunjin's writing about in this, it's this person's scent is their air, their reason for living. It's interesting. I'm sorry, I'm still so kind of caught up in all of the textures and the instrumentation of the song so far. I love how there's these big moments and then we're back to this very simple with that shh sound, other way around, but yeah. Again, arpeggios. I would be very interested to see the sheet music of this, because the time signature feels not what you'd expect. You know, in general time signatures, you'd have your kind of your 4/4, even your 3/4. This doesn't feel like either of those signatures to me. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert, but I'd just be intrigued. Because again, that sound, you have the drums and they feel like they are maybe 4/4, but the other kind of rhythms, they feel like polyrhythms, so they don't feel like they conform to the same rhythmic structure. And I also feel like I don't know where this song is going. Sorry, I'm pausing, I know. With a lot of songs, I don't know about you guys, but with a lot of songs that I listen to, even if I don't know the song, there are tricks and expectations that you can do and have, where you can say, like, you can hear a line and you can finish the lyric. And I'm very good at kind of, even with a song that I don't know, if it's got a very typical kind of chord progression, you know, you can work out where that next note is going to be. So if you can work out the next word and then the kind of next note, you can almost kind of go like and then kind of work it out for yourself as you're going on. With this song, I don't know where we're going. I think the only thing I know that's certain is that arpeggio.
Don't you give me love? Can we love? Can we love? Yeah.
I really like that. I think what I really like about this image, because this is the image that we get for the bulk of the song. Like we have this first image of Hyunjin, and then we kind of move into this image, and then that takes us all the way through the song. It's almost like there's elements where, you know, some of the musical elements could be this field or this cloud sequence in the sky. And obviously the lyrics talking about walking, I guess we start from the kind of the background, and then as the song kind of moves through, we come closer to the kind of the foreground, because at the end as well we have this really filled out accompaniment, and then here it fades out, and it's that kind of idea of the way that you've got these fields kind of separating. It's almost paralleling that with the music and the accompaniment, and so it's that kind of idea of, obviously, if there was people here, you'd be able to see them a lot much more clearly. And so it's that kind of similar idea where they're at the end of their journey, these characters, and they're in the foreground, and we can see them. You know, if there was a, you know, a different an alternate version of this photo with people in it, you'd imagine the people being right here in the center, you know, taking up the frame, and it's that kind of idea of he's almost talking. He's giving the character that kind of voice. I really, really enjoyed this. Yeah, both of these songs were amazing. And I really appreciate the way that he explores things in his lyrics and talks about things in his lyrics. There's this comment here on the actual page, on the YouTube page, that says Hyunjin doesn't just write lyrics; he writes poems. The lyrics are so beautiful. I absolutely agree. You could, and I think this is the kind of thing that really sets Hyunjin's music apart from other, you know, other people and other artists that we hear. And even that kind of makes sense of all these polyrhythms. Poetry, you know, you've got different meters and things, just like you have different time signatures. And it's almost that kind of idea of there's almost like a conflict between the musical side of things, you know, trying to keep, you know, you've got the drums trying to keep a time signature going. But then you've got Hyunjin kind of, obviously he's not just speaking, but like you would with a poem, you're following a poem's meter. So you've got the poem's meter, you've got the accompaniments time signature, which is the equivalent to a meter, and then you've got the drums kind of time signature, and the drum kind of, when you think about drums job, the drum's job, and the drum's job and the drummer's job is to keep time and keep pace. And I felt when I was watching this and listening to this song, I very much felt like that idea of the drums were not able to keep that pace. And this is not a bad thing. It's almost like you had Hyunjin and this other person maybe running through that field, that pathway of the field. And then you've got the music, which, as I said, you could easily say that those are the different elements, the sky and the actual field itself, and even the path that they're walking on. And so those two elements, you know, are moving to different times and different meters. And then you've got underneath all of that the drums, and the drums are like, stick to 4/4, stick to 4/4. And it's that idea that life doesn't stick to 4/4. You know, it is about kind of losing yourself in that. And I think it's the perfect idea for this song of like someone trying to reach out to someone else. but in a much more, I say this was much more carefree than the last song. Maybe because of the field, the image of the field. But it's more that kind of, oh come on, why won't you be with me? You know, that almost not annoying, but like that kind of incessant hopefulness where you're kind of like, come on, why won't you be with me? Oh come on, you know you like me. You know, it feels like that kind of a song. Um, Whereas Long for You felt much more kind of the end of a relationship and kind of reaching out, hoping that some part of the other person can still hear them when they cry out. Again, this one feels, yeah, this song feels a lot more playful. Um, and yeah, I really like Joha's production style. I was gonna just quickly Google, but I couldn't see. I was trying to see if there was any social media for Joha or anything that I could have a quick peruse, but I couldn't seem to find anything. Also, I just want to say this song is entirely in English. That is a big thing that I wasn't expecting. And I think that just further leans into the kind of thing of I didn't know where the song was going. And I like that. As the song went on, I could kind of hear chords, not necessarily that were being played um, audibly, but I could kind of predict the kind of chord stuff a little bit more. But again, for the majority of the song, there was that kind of, just like life, there was that unpredictability and playfulness and not knowing where we were going with it. And I really liked that. Um, so yeah, I really enjoyed both of these songs. They were both really good. So thank you guys for sitting with me and chilling with me while I ramble on. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone. Bye.